Hello and welcome to everybody who already joined our meeting. We are just about to start today's webinar on cybersecurity of IoT devices, and the aim of today's meeting is highlight the aspects of the upcoming changes, legal changes within the topic, which actually make that topic even more important right now to everybody who is producing the devices having the connection to the internet. So I will be the host of today's meeting. My name is Monika Jaworowska, and I have the pleasure and privilege to run in SII the Embedded Competency Center. So this is the unit which is delivering services and projects to all of our customers within the embedded systems area, including or particularly within the area of security of different devices on different levels of the devices. Today's speaker will be my colleague, Marek Natunewicz, who is holding in SII the role of solution architect and is taking a part in the projects of a leading role or just taking a part as a supportive role, giving the consultancy, implementation and testing services within the area of securing embedded devices. But before we will start, just a few organizational aspects. So please remember that the idea of this webinar is to share with you the knowledge that we already have on the interpretation of the changes that are coming in the near future. So we've prepared, of course, the lecture, but later on we'll definitely do the Q&A sessions. And of course, we are more than happy if you will ask any questions coming into your mind. You've got the chat window just next to the presentation. Please use it as far as you as fast actually as you can, because please remember that there is a slight time shift between the presentation and what you are hearing. So just do not hesitate and ask the questions as they will only appear into your mind. Okay, so I think right now, without further delay, I will give the microphone to my colleague, Marek Natunewicz. Marek, the floor is yours.
Yeah. So thank you, Monika, for introduction. So hello, everyone. I'm very happy that you are joining today to our webinar. So before we start discover our topic, a few words about me. So as Monika mentioned, my name is Marek Natunewicz. Currently, I work as a solution architect. I have over 14 years of experience in designing and programming embedded system. I specialize in bare metal programming using C, RTOS, low-level programming, testing, and implementing complex control algorithm. And the last few years, I work very close with security in embedded system. And additionally, I work close to the hardware and specialize developing firmware which strictly cooperate with the hardware to efficient resource usage. So yeah, short about me. So let's switch to our today agenda. So during today's meeting, I want to discuss topic related to security algorithms in embedded systems. So yeah, because I'm a technical guy, but today I do not focus on only on technical aspect, but I want to focus more how to business perspective use and connect with technical aspects to achieve goals related with implementation security in your products. So yeah, I will not describe all the upcoming regulations in detail, but I will focus more on the challenges and problems that you will have to solve while implementing various security functions. Yeah. So at the beginning, before we start, let's try to answer for a question: why we need security? Many companies ask themselves this question before they start planning and implementing security-related elements into their products. And I think the best answer to these questions will be numbers, and especially numbers that provide for us information about a scale of cyber attacks on embedded and on embedded devices. Currently, on the internet, you can find many reports that show how the number of attacks is growing exponentially year by year. So statistics show that the attacker they're shifting their focus from the large server system to the individual devices, to the embedded devices directly installed on user customer side. So yeah, the number of IoT devices is growing very quickly, and due to their popularity, availability, and the advantages they bring to our life. So yeah, I think to summarize answer to this question, this statement is true that our dependence on network technologies is growing faster than the ability to secure them. Yeah. In addition to statistics that illustrate the current state of cybersecurity, the governments of individual countries and the European Union are being to play a key role in this process. Why? Because yeah, the European Union defined the digital decade strategy. This strategy assumes that the number of IoT devices will increase significantly in the coming years, and along with this growth, the amount of data generated by users themselves will significantly increase. So yeah, this will involve the need to develop new standards, rules, and regulations in order to ensure an appropriate level of security protection. So yeah, one of the main goals of the strategy will be to raise the level of device security, protect users, and protect data they generate. So yeah, as a part of the initiative, other legal regulations will also appear in order to ensure appropriate protection of technology against unauthorized access. Yeah. So next, let's try to slightly modify the first question, why we need security, to question why companies need security. So why companies need security? In this question, I will try to shift our focus from more technical aspect to business aspects. So yeah, I can define a few reasons why companies need security. The first reason is the compliance with the regulations. Regulations are important because on some market you need to be compliant with them if you want to sell or offer your product on some markets. But regulation not always cover all important things from the company perspective. So regulation mostly focus to protect user data, as I mentioned, and user networks, and other things belongs to the user, with which our device probably will cooperate and exchange information. So from my experience, I can define more points more important from the company perspective, like yeah, you need to remember to protect your technology. You need to protect your device against unauthorized copy and unauthorized access. So you need to protect your brand. And by implementing security, you can save cost associated with removing damage may caused by cyber attacks. And the last one, increase by implementing security, you can increase resilience against unauthorized access to your device. So I think everyone agree that that make technology is very expensive and time consuming nowadays, and sometimes you need to spend many years to discover, to find a correct way, a technology for your products. So companies sometimes forget that they need to protect their technology on the same level as user data and other things belong to the user. I think I could talk about the reason why we need security for a long time, but maybe let's try to move on to the next topic, which is certainly important, which is regulations. So embedded system, as I mentioned at the beginning, are very important for me because they play a major role in the domain I specialize in. So on this slide, I placed the most important regulation for embedded systems. So some of them already came into force, but some of them will be obligatory very soon. So yeah, so what you can find here. So I think Radio Equipment Directive, Cyber Resilience Act, and US Cyber Trust Mark are the most important if you think about embedded. And in addition to regulation relating to security, some other legal regulations are being created, such as EU Data Act. You can see at the top of this slide. And this regulation do not directly relate to security, but will have an impact on it because this regulation will describe what we should do with user data, and related to security, we need to protect user data. So in order to better understand and illustrate the regulation, let's try to compare the most important ones. So here you can find a comparison of three, in my opinion, the most important regulation regarding to embedded. So as you can see, the regulation, Radio Equipment Directive, Cyber Resilience Act, and US Cyber Trust Mark, they have common parts such as user protection, user data protection, but they have some different elements. So, and they differ mainly in the scope of protection, as well as the type of devices that will be subject to regulation. And Radio Equipment Directive will come into force next year. Cyber Resilience Act will come into force in less than 3 years, probably in 2027. But currently we have transition period, and companies should start implement points required by this regulation. Maybe try to find and test to define process to implement those regulations. Yeah, and the second important factor refers to the necessity of the application, because Radio Equipment Directive and Cyber Resilience Act will be required as a mandatory to implement in your product. But from the other side, we have US Cyber Trust Mark, and this regulation is optional. So it means that if you decide to be compliant with this regulation, then you need to certify your device, and then you'll get a sticker, and this sticker with information about your certificate you will able to put on your device. Yeah. So if you already had the opportunity to read the regulation, you are probably wondering, where are the details? And the answer to these questions, the details you can find inside the standards. Because regulations usually describe general rules that we must follow. Rules provided by the regulation very often cause many misunderstanding. They don't have additional explanation and additional hints how to interpret them, what to implement first. So behind the regulation, we have standards that contain those implementation details, and the regulations contains a list of harmonized standards, the fulfillment of which will enable compliance with the regulation. But here we have some problem because currently not all the regulation are already published, the list of harmonized standard. Some of them are still in progress and we wait for approval. Yeah. So in context of embedded system, based on my experience, I selected standards divided into categories, which in my and my colleague opinion may have a significant impact on the scope of work and functions necessary to implement in the context of security in the coming years. Yeah, I think currently I finish describe details about the law, about the regulation standards, and answer to question why we need security, why companies security. So yeah, let's switch to the next topic, important from the security perspective. So let's focus more on problem and challenges we may encounter during the implementation process. Yeah. Yeah. Problem and challenges. So yeah, the series of changes that companies will have to implement in order to effectively implement the functions, processes associated with security, will cause a whole list of problems and challenges that we have to face. So to simplify the process, to understand them, I have created a list of problems and challenges based on my experience, as well as on the conversation with clients, other companies, experts, and through participation in various events and conference. And I have divided them into two main categories. So the first category is, let's say, company perspective, business perspective, and the second category, technical project perspective. And yeah, at the beginning, we will focus on problem and challenges from company and business perspective. So I think this statement need to choose pen. Yeah, this statement. Oh, sorry. No problem. Okay, now it works. Yeah, I think this statement is really true. That the regulation are coming for us, and as an industry, we are not ready. So. As I mentioned earlier, there is currently a transition period for Radio Equipment Directive and Cyber Resilience Act. A large part of companies and on the market do not use this period to implement changes, create processes that will allow us to fully meet the requirements of the regulation. And activities you need to implement will definitely take a lot of time and will enable prepare a process which allows you to test a various solution before you decide to select which of those solutions tested by you is optimal. Yeah. The second, I think, the major problem is lack of expertise. and is the lack of qualified staff, because gaining practical experience requires time and a lot of commitment. And this task also involves the need to build security teams, because lack of expertise and domain knowledge means that many companies have problem with determining the size of team, require competences and division of duties. Yeah. Next point, another serious problem is time and cost. Why? Because currently, according to statistics, over 60% of projects exceed the schedule. So exceed the schedule, integrating and implementing security rules takes time, and people who will implement those require points. The next point, the regulations are not clear. So what does this point mean? As I mentioned before the regulation do not contain details regarding to implementation of individual points. They do not contain precise information on which devices and what extent must be subject to them. So this means that in many cases, we try to interpret the rules of regulation and guess a little whether our devices are subject to regulation or not, or which points we must necessarily implement and which are optional, or which one we can implement, let's say in second phase of the project. Yeah. So to finalize challenges and related with business perspective, you need to be aware that if the device you're working on enters to the market in about 1 or 2 years, it means that you need to start think about the security and you need to start implement security related elements now to be ready to oncoming regulations. So challenges from the business perspective will impact many factors related to the company and products, but often, they will be more, let's say, high-level elements. So they have impact on high-level elements. So, but challenges from the project level, technical aspect, will concern low-level elements. And if you look at the problem and challenges from the project level, we will be dealing with the elements that directly affect hardware and software. So I think that the most important point in this category is to find a way where to start. What functions to implement first, what we can ignore and what not. And later I will mention about possible solutions related to this point. Next, in project, it's often happen that we have a lot of functions available that no one uses. So, but for various reasons, they are still in the code. And in order to limit the scope of work resulting from security, you will have to learn how to remove unnecessary function from the code so that they do not have to be subject to security related operations. Next point important from the technical project perspective, the choice of libraries for your software will become an, I think, important issue. Currently, it's very popular to use many open source libraries, commercial libraries in your project, and such action bring many benefits, such faster implementation time, and I think many other advantages. But looking at all the additional libraries in the context of security, you will have a limited choice and will have to choose libraries that offer additional support and have been implemented in accordance with security rules. So yeah, and this will save your time in the future when problem error gaps appear in the libraries we use, because when you select libraries designed with security elements, then probably you will also get updates and any other fixes, any vulnerabilities will be detected in those libraries. Another important issue is challenge is software consolidation. In order to save time, you will need to combine the software being created into parts that can be later be used in new projects. So combining software into configurable modules that we can use in the future implemented in accordance with security rules will extend our time in the initial period, but in the long run, it will allows us to better organize work and save time in the future. Moving further, and the next important point, it's I think important factor in the context of security will be hardware, because currently there are many hardware solutions available which may help for you increase the level of security in your products. But however, a solution directly on the hardware will be associated with a new design process, new research, and new testing process. And in the case of hardware, the implementation of some solution may take a long time and will require several design cycles in order to meet all the requirements, and of course test if all new elements implemented and added to the hardware work correctly. Yeah, and I think to sum up the topic of challenges and problems related to security, we can say that combination of elements behind, if we take point behind the schedule, then regulation, and then plus and then add to these points lack of knowledge, those mixture, I think, can significantly extend time it takes us to adapt the rules related to security. So our time we need to spend on our projects increase significantly. In relation to challenges from the business and technical side, there is one more point that can certainly we have an impact on the two areas I've already mentioned. And these points correspond to definition security through obscurity. So a concept that a little known, but in many cases very often used by companies. So yeah, what does it exactly mean? In short, this concept is about describing certain behaviors used by companies when implementing security. Yeah, many companies believe that if they have dedicated communication protocols or technology about which no information is publicly available, it means those company thinks that it means that our device is secure, because no one can find any information about our protocol. So no information available, no one will able hack our device, store data, change logic, or get unauthorized access or do some other forbidden things. Another example explains this concept is that that companies will disable some rarely used functions for which the cost of implementation security is too high. And let's think about example that let's assume that companies has a device with Bluetooth connection, and they got some statistic that only 1 or 2% users use actively this Bluetooth connection, and company after got this information decide that cost of implementing security are too high, so let's better disable this feature and still have hope that users still will want buy and use our products. Yeah. Now we have learned about the main challenges and problems that you will have to face in context of implementing security into your products. You are probably wondering how and where to start, where to take the first step, and how take the first step. So moving on, my suggestion is to start with small steps. As I mentioned earlier, many challenges related to the interpretation of standards, lack of knowledge, cause companies do not know where and how to start. So in many companies who design, implement embedded devices, the decision-making process to implement various legal regulation takes time. So currently working on on your current project, you already have an impact on certain level of security that will be offered by your product. So on this slide, you can find a list of main activities, the implementation of which during the development of the current project should not significantly affect the implementation time. It will certainly allow you to take the first step towards security. Yeah, you must be aware. You must be aware that legal regulation and standards will not make your system secure. And the key role in the entire process will be played by people who will be responsible for implementing and designing a given product. So one of the main challenges will be to change your way of thinking and approach, and this is process that takes time and the right approach how to do this. Yeah. And by implementing a small steps, you will start moving in the right direction without having to wait for the complexion of business processes related to security. So to finalize, what to do first? So remember, start raising your team awareness of security, then turn off unused hardware and software components, then protect private and sensitive data. But before you start to protect them, analyze them, what you have there. Secure your communication. Do not send any significant data. Yeah, it's better do not send any data in clear text. Implement secure coding rules, advanced review mechanism to the new features, and the last one, do not keep your password in your source code, and try to use random passwords. Yeah, and once we overcome the first problem and challenges, more will definitely more will appear, and what next? So during the first test activities, probably business processes, budgets will be adjusted to the new requirements and needs, and we will receive time and necessary resources for implementation. And naturally, the next step will be the implementation of functions directly related to regulations. So The next step towards security will be implementing points directly related to standards, regulations, regulations required by them. So, as I mentioned before, regulation unfortunately do not provide simple rules on what must be included in our product for us to be compliant with them. So lack of understanding and clear regulations, rules that can be interpreted differently, may cause another blockade before starting. So despite all these things, all these challenges, I can define a list of activities that will be required by the upcoming legal regulation, and definitely they help you and make the next step towards a very big step towards security. So by implementing these points, definitely you will meet part of the points from the regulation. And the most important point in this list concern to software update, because by implementing the over-the-air security update function, you will become flexible in terms of future changes in regulation, as well as the potential errors in our products. So yeah, because definitely some issues, some vulnerabilities will be detected when you start sell and offer products to the clients, and yeah, secure update process very quickly enable for you change the firmware in your device to fix all detected problems. Next points correspond to implement secure manufacturing. It will allow us to make sure that the device works under the control of our software and contains all the components programmed by us. Next, implementing encryption communication will allow us to protect data, especially user data, from leakage, and will significantly complicate the potential process of analyzing the device and get unauthorized access to the device. Next point corresponds to creating software bill of materials and processes of monitoring the function libraries used for detect vulnerabilities with, and this process allows you to detect potential problems at early stage and very quickly prepare require fix. Next, yeah, implementing additional algorithms monitoring the behavior of your device, so detecting the non-standard operation, like for example too many data sent via communication bus or any other command sent too often, may allows you to detect attempts at unauthorized access to the device and early stage and take the mitigation step. For example, if you detect that someone try to guess your password, access password, you may for example block access to your device. The function I mentioned a moment ago are not the only ones we will have to implement in products as a part of security. We have more points function related to security. So yeah, what other security functions we have? On the previous slide, I showed the most important functions you need to definitely implement as at the beginning. But here you can find many more points, functions that you will have to probably implement into your products, but not all of them at the first stage, as I said previously. So yeah, so what we have here on this slide additionally. So additionally, we have here a threat modeling analysis process, vulnerability management monitoring process, secure design coding rules, static code analysis with advanced review mechanism, secure software development lifecycle, penetration tests, ethical hacking, and secure storage to protect any, not only significant, but my recommendation is to protect any data you store on your devices. So you can see that there is a lots of it, and implement all of them will require to prepare an appropriate plan. So some of them will be required perform to test processes, implement and test a few solutions, select and adjust to your processes solutions which able to meet all the expectations. So during the testing and customization process, new question will arise. So such as how we can optimize some activities, what tools to use, what approach to select to some of those points. So in search of appropriate tools, I think some people will probably turn their attention to the recently popular AI. So let's try to think as a next step towards security about how AI may help for us during this process. So I think the currently popular AI can certainly provide for you additional support, but definitely the true statement is that AI tools provide support for both attackers and security engineers. So I think we can compare it to a game from our childhood, cat and mouse. So with the help of AI, I think you can certainly speed up some activities. You can partially automate them, but unfortunately, in my opinion, it will not replace you in the full implementation of some points. It's not that the AI is useless. We can use them to support, for example, update process, perform threat analysis, static analysis, source code static analysis to increase knowledge level, but we can replace those activities fully by AI. So I think the impact of AI in security topic will increase, but AI still needs time to provide for us more valuable tools. And of course, we hope that soon some more useful tools appear, and we will able to use AI to this process more frequently. So but much more important than trying to use AI to accelerate the implementation of security in our products is working on changing our way of thinking, working on preparation the entire process, and implementing security into your products. It's not just a single task to be performed. You need completely change your mindset and create a secure by default process. So how your approach to this process may looks like. So when you start implement elements connected with security topics, you need to try build an entire process that will not help with only a given project, but will also brings benefits to the entire organization. And for other engineers, companies and organization, together with other architects, we defined a pyramid of security to help them understand how important security topic is, and how we can divide this topic to smaller parts, to smaller area to cover for better understanding. So going further, Your next step towards optimally planning the implementation of security related elements could be a process consisting of 4 points. So which allows you to appropriately select the scope of work to be performed. So as I shown on previous slides, the number of functions related to security is very large. So implementing all of them, it's not always necessary, and creating an appropriate plan can save you time. And speed up the introduction to product to the market. So yeah, my plan consists of 4 points, during which together with the stakeholders presented by other engineers, presented by business, client side, production department, you discover and define real needs and implement them to achieve all requirements and goals. And you need to approach implementation flexibly because what good is it if you implement a secure software installation if the production department is not ready for it, or after that process you'll get information that production department need prepare some additional tools to use what you already implemented. Yeah. So yeah. To sum up all things today I presented for you. What you need to handle with the security. So you need to remember about the regulations. So read them, interpret them, and try to select those ones which will have impact on your business. Then prepare your approach. So remember, gather knowledge, prepare plan, treat security as default. Remember, you need to, as I said, you need to change your mindset, and then start build security teams, and start increasing security awareness, because you need to remember that not regulation makes your product secure, but people will and what they implement increase secure level of your products. Then the third point, challenges and problems. So remember, identify them, prioritize them, and test various solutions before you decide which one to select, and treat challenges and problems as the next task towards the goal. And as I mentioned, test various solutions. And the last point from today webinar, security functions. There is a lot of it, but as I showed you previously, you can at the beginning select the most important one, and remember, start from the small steps and then implement functions important from the regulation, and like the security updates, like encrypt communication, monitor strange behavior, and other important things. Yeah, and at the end, but last but not least, in CC embedded where I work, we are aware of challenges, problems, and tasks that we currently face. So knowing how much work there is still ahead of us, we engage in various initiatives such as writing articles, creating courses, webinars, generally content that aims to raise our awareness of security. So that we can all move in a direction that will allow us to design and create devices that will bring value to the users, and also enable us to achieve compliance with the latest standards and the regulations. Yeah. Okay, so that's all what I have today for you.
Yes, thank you very much, Marek. We have reached the end of your lecture. Thank you so much for sharing all the information that you experienced on your way already within different projects. So to quickly sum up, we've got regulations just around the corner because they are already accepted, they are already in place, yes, but there is a transition period. That's the first fact. The another fact is that the regulations are ambiguous, obviously, and it will be probably more and more clear with the time. But there is no time, to be honest, to wait, and there are some steps that we can, as a producer of the IoT device, enter into and start implement, just to be closer to the compliance with the new regulations. And those topics are obviously OTA updates, as you mentioned, software bomb, preparing and analyzing software bomb, encrypt communication, yes, and of course put some mechanism of the detection of unusual behavior. So that's just a sum up, very quick sum up of all the 45 minutes that you go through all the topics. And I need to tell you that there are some questions. Actually, we encourage people to ask them, and we have them definitely. So Marek, if you could jump into the chat window, I think it will be great to look
so we got, because
through them.
I have some. I think I have some small technical issue, and I can't see the questions. So maybe you can ask me all those questions.
Okay, so I will give it to you. I will read it out loud. Just please remember that you've got the separate window to that. Okay, so first question was, you mentioned why we need security from the company perspective. And the question is, do you have experience how to increase awareness in already functioning teams? Yes, so that you are not used to such requirements and regulations. So how to prepare your teams which are working on if I understand it right, which are working on a project, how to increase their awareness to actually work on those requirements and regulations.
Yeah. So as I mentioned at the beginning of our presentation, you need to start. You need to start from small steps. So you need to be aware that not regulation makes your product secure, but the people. By their work, increase level of security. So start from the small steps and start to build the knowledge level. So participate in various webinars like this one, with more technical webinars. Start to participate into some conference. Currently, we have many conferences available on-site or online. So you can, so you can participate into this conference and start test various solutions, because as I mentioned, there is no simple answer to question what to implement some specific point. You need to test various solutions and adjust how you will proceed with some points related to your business and your business needs.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you. So I think, as you said, it's very important to actually give the people the possibility to actually read, to listen to the ideas from probably different teams, different project teams, different companies, yes, who already started their, I don't know, prioritizing or gathering ideas on how to implement security with their teams. So it is a kind of as you said, it's not set in stone at all. right now. It's just the beginning. So taking a look on the people around you is one of the things to give the boost for the team to actually be more aware and be more interested in the security topics. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
The second question here.
I think Monica currently, I think I already fixed my issue and
Okay.
I can see question.
The second question would be from Matt. So please take a look on the question from Matt. Maybe.
Yeah. So question from Matt. How do you balance the need for security with the usability and efficiency performance of IoT devices? So yeah. Related to this question, you need to be aware that security operations you will implement will consume your resources, and generally, to answer to this question, you need to first analyze what you have, what kind of product you have, what kind of hardware you have, and what kind of points from the security concept you need to implement. So. The main check you need to do that check is if your current hardware has enough resources, and maybe your hardware has some hardware accelerators to increase some security levels. If not, then you can try maybe change logic, change behavior of your devices, and all security operation divide into small chunks. For example, encrypt or decrypt data by chunks. But if it don't help, then you need to think to redesign your hardware and put to your hardware some relevant hardware elements with definitely enable for you fulfill all requirements. Yeah. So the next question, I think I partially answered for this question currently. How can hardware components help and accelerate the security implementation processes? So currently on the market, we have many hardware solutions which enable for us simplify and accelerate the process how to implement some security functions. Because, for example, you can select the microprocessor which already has some hardware support for encryption algorithms. So it means that you won't have to implement encryption algorithms because you will able to use hardware accelerators to accelerate this process. The second hardware components which has a very big advantage is secure storage. There is a many memories, even pin to pin. So it means that you can check on your current products. So you can probably some memory with pin to pin, and you can change with some secure storage mechanism. So it means that memory has inside some additional microprocessor with already implemented encryption and encryption algorithms. So it means that you will able to keep your data secure and encrypted on your device. And generally, there is many other options like some support to by hardware components encrypt communications. Yeah, and yeah, definitely, I think we can discuss about this topic much longer. But yeah, I think I mentioned about those two the main components. Yeah, so maybe because we don't have much time, so maybe let's switch to the next question.
Yes, next question is from Cornell.
Yeah.
Do you recommend a secure development lifecycle framework which is appropriate for embedded systems, hardware and firmware development? So any secure development lifecycle framework. Do you think that something like this, I mean, exists as a general concept? Yeah.
Generally, during my experience, I had occasion use a few of them, and I recommend to use rules described in standard ISO 62443, and this standard describes very in detail how to implement this entire process. But yeah, but you need to be aware that there is no ideal process. You need to take any template or any process available, and you need to adjust this process to your needs. And because some of the elements probably you won't need, some of them you will need to add, and you need to adjust and change this process, which will be compliance with your business and with your internal procedures.
Yes, but if you are looking for inspiration, how to start, yes. So the ISO you mentioned 62344, yes, 62344.
62443.
Oh, sorry, 443. Yes, 62443 would be the good starting point. Okay. Two questions from Tomek connected with AI agents. Yes. Please go ahead.
Expect security professionals. Are there any example of SAI agents that enhance the security level of IoT devices for companies? To be honest, I don't know any popular agents to enhance security level. I tested a few of them, but I'm not sure if I can recommend because when I tested, I saw many drawbacks in them. So because they cover some general rules, and always I found I was able to find drawbacks in those agents. So yeah, from my perspective, currently I don't use any of them. Maybe in near future some of them appear and will be worth to use, but currently it's difficult to say, I think. Yeah.
So there is a question supplementing that one, that the question was actually about AI agents, not SI agents, and their role in the improvement of security level. But still, the answer is similar, yes, from your side.
Yeah.
Okay, we've tested a little bit, as you are saying. We've tested, I mean, not a little bit, but the number of different tools. But they are first of all kind of to the niche particular tasks. That's the first thing, and then the second thing, that they've got quite fast you will encounter the drawbacks. Yes, so no recommendation from our side. Of course, you should use them. You should try to use them because they will definitely help to automate. But we cannot recommend any particular tool as for now. Yes, although we use it sometimes in our projects. Okay, another one question from Cornel. Do you recommend any threat modeling framework which is appropriate for embedded systems? Threat modeling.
Yes, I had occasion to use a couple of times Strike methodology to this process, and I highly recommend because in opinion this methodology works in embedded systems and enable for you analyze software and hardware assets you will have in your product. So yeah, from my perspective, I highly recommend this framework.
Okay, perfect. Marek, actually, we are 3 minutes behind the schedule, but still just two questions left. So maybe just go.
Yeah, we can go through of them. So next question, another question is related to DLT, ZKP, blockchain and cryptographic algorithms that protect data. What's your opinion on that topic in case of security mechanisms that enable secure storage of data that is used by IoT devices? Yeah, to be honest, I don't have experience with with this technology, with blockchain. So in my case, it's difficult to answer for this question. So I don't want to make any guess how can I answer, how I interpret this technology. And the last question, yeah, you mentioned regulations in the European Union, US, and UK. And what about other countries? Are they also working on similar regulations? Yes, yeah. During our presentation, I want to focus only on the main regulations appear very soon. But as I know, yeah, the other countries also work to create their regulations, but some of them still wait until European Union and US finish work on their regulation, and probably in the future they partially will copy or try to implement those regulations already on the market. So currently, in my opinion, it's not worth talk about other regulation, but situation in let's say in this business is changing very quickly. So probably in 1 month we will able to extend our presentation and add new regulation. But yeah, but currently we want to focus only on those main.
Okay, Marek, thank you very much for all the answers you gave here and for all the lecture. I think it was very informative, and to everybody who joined the webinar, the recording will be enabled to you. We will send it to you via email, so you can go through it once again, and also. As always, probably within that kind of events, we would very appreciate the answers in the survey that we will send you. It's a very, very, very short survey, but it give us information. How do you assess the information that we prepared for you today, and what kind of topics would be interested for you in the coming events, for example. So. As for now, thank you very much for your attendance. Thank you so much also, Marek, for all your lecture. And I hope we see and hear you soon on the next webinars from SII and from the Embedded Competency Center. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.